Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is LaDonna and I am a first year homeschooling mom of 2. And on my channel, I've just been sharing our journey, what we've been learning, how we've been growing, and what the Lord has been doing. If you watched my last video, you heard me say that I'm already planning for the 2021 and 2022 school year. That might sound really surprising, but I'm not doing that because, I'm this super great planner. I'm doing it for financial reasons. I want to have a plan and then just kind of spread out our curriculum over these next couple of months instead of buying all at once. That's what I did last year and I really want to avoid it. So I know that it puts a little bit more work on me, especially, it's the beginning of 2021 and we're still in the thick of homeschooling and life and all of these other things. But I've just been setting aside a little bit of time each day, praying, researching, writing things down, and figuring out what I need. Well, because of that, I had an idea for a video and I thought I would share with you what I have learned when it comes to choosing curriculum. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 things that I've learned. These are just the 5 things that I have learned. I know that there are a ton of other things to consider when purchasing curriculum. I'm also very aware of the fact that every family and homeschool is different. But these are the 5 things that I have learned, and I've only learned them because of our experience this past year. So I'm excited to share that with you today. What have I learned and how has that influenced my curriculum choices for the 2021-2022 school year? I'm glad you asked and I'm going to share. I've got some notes right here, so I'm going to look down. The very first thing I've learned, don't buy something because it's trendy. Do you hear me out there, homeschool mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever you may be? Just because everyone else is doing it and everyone else is buying it does not mean you have to. Now, am I saying that curriculum is not a good curriculum? Absolutely not. But I know how tempting it is to feel like, well, if everyone else is doing it, then we should be doing it too, because for me, well, I don't want my children to miss out on something, or at least that's what I experienced. So in the first few months of homeschool, even after we had bought curriculum, oh, they have that, I need to get that too. Oh, they have that, I need to hurry up and buy that too. Or, oh, this supplement looks really great. Or, oh, this book looks really great. Or, oh, this game looks really great. Or, oh, that would just fit in here. And before you know it, you've just got a big pile of curriculum and supplements and games. And the reality is you're not going to have enough time in the year to use all of it. And also you've spent way more money than what you had budgeted in the very beginning. So I know that sounded really choppy, but what I'm trying to say is you don't have to do it or buy it just because everyone else is. I know social media tends to make that a sensitive area because we kind of get to see into everybody else's life, but I want to encourage you to just kind of step away from that when you start purchasing curriculum for your next school year or your next semester or your next term, however it is that you school. Listen, don't do it just because everyone else is doing it. That is my first tip. My second tip, the second thing that I have learned is I don't have to spend thousands of dollars. It kind of goes along with the first thing that I've learned, that I don't have to do what everyone else is doing. And because I don't have to do what everyone else is doing, I don't have to spend thousands of dollars to give my children a good quality education. Really, all they need is me, a pencil, some books, whatever it is I feel like the Lord has placed in our lives to work on for that year, and we're good to go. We're good to go. Listen, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. And again, I think it kind of goes back to us as parents. I won't speak for you, I'll speak for me. I don't want to mess anything up, and I don't want to cause my children to miss something because of me and my ignorance. Can anybody relate to that? I don't come from a professional background in education. I'm just a mom, just trying to honor the Lord and love my children. So I really wrestle with that a lot. But I'm so thankful that God has given me peace when it comes to this, because I don't have to do what everybody else is doing, and I don't have to spend thousands of dollars. There are affordable ways to homeschool your children. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of creativity and time and work and effort, but listen, Mom, you can do it. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up. You can do it. What does that look like for you? I'm not exactly sure. I would encourage you to talk to your spouse, talk to your husband, pray about it. If you've got a community around you, talk to them. Maybe they can help you. This is the part where, the screen kind of causes a little bit of distance and we can't really connect like I'd want us to. But every situation is unique, and that is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. The third thing that I've learned, and my third tip, probably the most important thing, you need to know what kind of learner your child is. What I mean by that is you need to know, how does your child learn? Is your child an auditory learner? Is he a kinesthetic learner? Is she a visual learner? How does she learn? What does she gravitate to? That's really been the biggest eye-opener for me. And to kind of make a sub point to that, you also need to find out what kind of learner you are as an instructor. Because I've been able to learn that about myself, I've actually been able to use it to benefit and help my children. So you need to figure out what kind of learner your students are, your child is, and what kind of learner you are, and then tailor that to make that work in your homeschool. And I have a second sub note to that. So what I have done, for example, my firstborn, my son, David, who is, he's pretty advanced student. If you've been around here a little bit, you've heard me talk about that. Some of the subjects I have tailored to his learning style, and some of them I haven't. I know that might sound a little harsh or insensitive, but I wanted to stretch him and grow him. Does that make any sense? He is definitely a visual learner and an auditory learner. So I've just really played on those two things, but then I've also challenged him in some of the other areas, because I just didn't want him to get comfortable. Now, I'm not trying to hurt his confidence. Please don't think I'm trying to hurt his confidence. I wanted to give him a little bit of challenge and remind him that, hey, just because you have this figured out does not mean you can get comfortable. That is not what it means to learn. We can't be afraid of challenges. It's because of the challenge that we're able to grow. Now listen, I don't just kind of like give it to him and say, here, you're on your own. I'm there every step of the way, and I am helping him. But for him and his individual purposes, I've just kind of tailored some things, and then some other things I have not tailored. He is a 5th grader. He's going to be a 6th grader. And look, y'all, I've seen some growth in some areas. I've seen some independence, and I've seen some initiative, and I'm so proud of him, specifically in those areas, not just the areas that he thrives in, but in those areas where he's had to give a little bit more effort and time. He's grown in character. For my second born, my girl, Annabeth, who is a 3rd grader, she's an average student. When we started homeschool, she was definitely behind in some areas, and I had to spend a lot of extra work kind of working backwards to prepare her for where she is now. She is definitely a visual learner and a kinesthetic learner. So the two things my two have in common, they're visual, but she is definitely hands-on and kinesthetic. So some of her subjects I've had to tailor to that. Now, I haven't challenged her as much as I've challenged my son, and that's because of, just some of the things that we've had to spend extra time on, but I'm hoping to set her up for that next school year. Now, I'm not just going to throw her into it. I'm just going to give her one specific thing that I want her to work on and to be challenged in, and then everything else, we're just going to keep going. Because here's the thing with her. Because there were gaps, some subjects, when we would come to them, she was just sad and scared and had no confidence. And I do not want to go back to that. worked really hard to get her to where she is right now. I'm super proud of her, and she's worked really hard. She's endured, she's persevered, and because of that, her character has grown as well. You can tailor how they learn to their subjects and just kind of go from there. You know your child best. Don't be afraid to do it. The fourth thing that I've learned, it kind of goes along with tip number 1 and tip number 2, or really just what I've learned, is I don't need everything. I don't need everything to homeschool. Oh my goodness, this homeschool social media world, at first it was so great, but then the greatness quickly became dull when I realized I don't have a homeschool room. I don't have a collection of books. I don't have, this or that, or whatever, you fill in the blank. I mean, we live in a 3-bedroom home, and we had a small a small personal library, but just to, I've got that book on hand, or I have this on hand, or yeah, I'm familiar with that, or this or that, I just kind of felt like my head was going in circles, and I got very overwhelmed and intimidated again. Seeing all this overwhelmed me very quickly, and I began to doubt and to question. But in a moment, I felt the Lord tell me that I didn't need everything that everyone else has. So I'm here to tell you, you don't need everything to homeschool your children. Just like you don't have to spend thousands of dollars, and just like you don't have to do what is trendy, you don't need everything. Don't be overwhelmed or intimidated by that, Mom. The last thing that I have learned, and my last tip, is whatever curriculum I buy, I can tailor it to fit us. I know that probably does not sound profound, and it is a simple truth, but I am definitely someone who, I follow the rules and I do exactly what I'm supposed to do, and it bothers me when we skip a step. That's just my personality. When we started the school year, I was like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. And not so much that we were modeling the public school, it was just what I was reading in the curriculum. Well, after about a month of that, I finally realized we don't have to do that. We can do what works for you. I have 2 children, 2 different personalities, and different learning styles. We don't have to do one thing the same. You can do it this way, and you can do it that way. So what I'm trying to say is, when you start purchasing curriculum for your upcoming school year, semester, or term, listen, you can tailor it to fit you. You can make it work. Don't feel like you can't do something or buy something because you can't do it the way that they are suggesting. Tailor it to fit you. All right, moms, I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that this inspired you. If you have started planning for your next school year, semester, or term, please let me know in the comments. If you've learned some of these same lessons, please share it with me in the comments, and please share with me some other lessons that you have learned in your homeschool journey. All right, friends, I will see you next time. Bye.